of your fears. And you told me only one fear, and fear of wasting time. Are there other fears that you have here?
Wasting potential as well. I would say that that's my biggest fear of being very old and realizing that there was so much more that I could have done, but that I didn't. I think that would be my biggest regret.
So all these fears, if you continue to follow, will land you in regret.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with these fears, by? So thank you so much, Sophia, for joining me today.
Thank you.
And what are the topics that you have kept in mind? What is it that you would like to speak?
So I have a very clear vision in my head of the kind of life and the kind of business that I want to build. But recently, I have been procrastinating a lot, even on the things that I want to do. I've been feeling anxious, and I've been feeling like I'm stuck in a rut. So what I'd really like to explore is, why do I keep putting off the things that I want to do? And how can I move out of this place of being stuck?
So you want to talk about how do you get out of procrastination and the feeling of stuckness?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more what's happening on that.
Well, I'm currently building my own business, and I'm also kind of building the life that I want, right? So I want to be successful within my business. I want to have good relationships with my friends and family and my partner. I want to be healthy. So I want to be self-educated. So there's a lot of things that I want. And I do feel like I'm slowly making progress during for those things, but I feel this like internal resistance whenever I go to do something towards my goals. It's like this heavy feeling in my chest or in my stomach, and yeah, I just feel so much resistance to doing these things, and I don't know why.
So you have a lot of goals that you've decided for your business, for relationships and health. And when you want to work on it, it feels heavy, you said, right?
Yeah.
Resistance, I think is the word you use, right?
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, once I actually start, it doesn't feel that bad, but it's so difficult to start sometimes. And this feeling is quite new, I would say, and I'm really not sure where it's coming from.
So a couple of words that you've used, you're saying procrastination, you said feeling stuck, and you're also saying resistance, feeling heavy when you thinking about it. When you do it, it's okay. You're saying it's better, but when you're thinking about it, it's heavy. Yeah. Tell me, what is one of these three? So procrastination, resistance, and the feeling of this heaviness. Out of all these, what's very important for you to kind of unpack and move forward?
I feel that they are all related, but if I had to choose one, it would be resistance.
And tell me, if they all are related, is there a common name for all of them?
I think a struggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that word resonating in your body?
Yeah.
There's a smile there on your face.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I've kind of been suppressing these feelings for a while and not confronting them head on.
Mm,
So it's kind of, it feels like a bit of a relief actually to, give it a name and to really acknowledge that it's there.
mm. So the name is struggle. It's a word that you figured out. So that's your state at the moment. At the end of a conversation, where would you like to take it? What would you like it to become for yourself?
Well, I would like to have a feeling of being more light in a way, like a certain lightness. And
Mhm,
I would also like to have a little bit more understanding of what I can do to
mhm,
overcome the struggle.
mm. By the end of a conversation, that you move from struggle to lightness.
Yes.
And then what do you do about it?
I think if I had this lightness, then it would give me more, I don't know, freedom and ease to actually take action. Because being in this state of not taking action, it's in the back of my mind all the time. That's all I think about. I can't sleep properly, it's just, I would really love to just like, yeah, take this weight off my shoulders so that it just feels a little bit more exciting again, to
Mm,
do the things I want to do.
mm. So it'll make you feel more exciting when you've started to feel lighter.
Yeah, excited and motivated and just have a more positive outlook towards working towards my goals. Because at the moment, it should be fun to
Mm,
do something that you want to do. But at the moment, I just don't have that sense.
mm, mm. And tell me more, what else would it get for you in your life beyond, fun, excitement, anything else that you think you will feel rewarded?
I think I would feel like I overcame a major internal battle, and I would be very proud of myself. I could help others do the same. And in general, I think life would just be a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but yeah, just feel a little bit more free.
Mm,
And, I've had a lot of like pain in my body recently in my muscles, especially in my shoulders and my jaw. And I really think it's because of this like struggle that I'm holding in, uh,
mm,
that it kind of causes my muscles to tense. So I think just overall, I would feel a lot more, yeah, like free and loose and yeah,
mm.
just excited.
So we're going on a journey from what you're feeling currently as a struggling to feeling lighter and then feeling that you're free of these muscle tension and whatever physiological symptoms you're feeling at the moment.
Yes.
And tell me, when we have achieved our outcomes of our coaching conversation today, which is you feeling lighter, how would that feel like for you in your body?
I think it would give me a lot more room to relax, both physically and mentally. At the moment, I feel like I'm just not able to relax. Even when I try my best, it's still a struggle to relax. Um, so yeah, I would feel just physically a lot better, a lot lighter. I would sleep better. My
Mm,
appetite would be better. So just kind of taking this weight off my shoulders will literally feel lighter and easier.
mm, and relaxed. Mm,
Hmm.
mm. I want you to kind of feel that in this moment and tell me when you're speaking about feeling lighter, easier, and not tense, what's happening in your body then? How is it shifting?
feel like my thoughts become more clear, my mind becomes more clear. Everything just starts to feel a little bit easier and lighter. I feel like I can breathe more deeply.
Mm. And I can see you breathing deeply already.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And um, yeah.
Mm. And tell me what's becoming a barrier for you in accomplishing the feelings that you want to feel.
Hmm. What's become a battle in achieving the feelings that I want to feel?
I was saying barrier, but it's okay if you use the word battle.
Hmm. Hmm. Honestly, it's just myself and
Mhm.
my mind. I don't understand why I can't just do the things that I want to do and feel accomplished and relaxed. And so it's this like constant struggle in my mind of, I guess, shame and guilt.
Mhm.
Shame and guilt around the fact that I have a lot of opportunities to do the things that I want to do and a lot of freedom. And yet, at the moment, I'm not making the most of it. So then I become unhappy with myself. And if I'm unhappy with myself, that makes me want to take action even less. So I guess it's just kind of a circle in my mind. It just keeps going round and round.
And you're experiencing the circle in your body.
Yeah.
So what in that circle needs to break?
That's a really good question that I haven't asked myself yet. Perhaps it's letting go of the emotions and the thoughts that are keeping me stuck. So letting go of shame and guilt and fear of wasting time. Because I think that's part of the reason why I have this struggle is because I have a lot of self-limiting beliefs or negative thoughts. So maybe letting those go would already feel lighter. Yeah.
And what's happening right now when you're speaking about it?
Yeah, I feel like it's something that it seems like a very obvious answer, just let go of all these feelings. But it's something that I haven't really thought about in the past. Yeah, and I think the reason for that is because my whole life I've been studying, I've been working, um, and I've always been so busy and I've always had so much structure and direction that I've never really been confronted with, having so much time and so little structure. So maybe that's what I'm struggling with as well, is just this change and not having someone tell me what to do. Because when someone tells me what to do, it really just kind of turns off my brain and my emotions. I'll just do it. But when you're working for yourself and really doing everything for yourself, it becomes more difficult. And I guess that's when my thoughts take over.
Are you experiencing some emotion right now when you're speaking about it?
Yeah, I do feel a little bit emotional, but I can't really put my finger on which emotion it is. It's I don't know. it's kind of a strange mix of being happy that I'm kind of free from people telling me what to do and having a boss and, just having full autonomy of my life, but also a little bit like, I guess, I don't know, nostalgic for when things were a little easier.
And you started by saying that you want to let go of shame, guilt, and fear of wasting time. And then you also spoke about feeling lost, that there's nobody to tell you, but also feeling good about that you're boss of yourself and your autonomy. Uh, which one is important for you to focus on? Meaning, you want to let go of those fears or enjoy the autonomy that you spoke about?
I think it kind of goes hand in hand because until I let go of my fears, I won't be able to fully enjoy this time and this opportunity to build something that I have.
So you're saying until you let go of your fears, and you told me only one fear and fear of wasting time. Are there other fears that you have here?
Yeah, of course. Fear of not succeeding, fear of, failing, fear of wasting potential as well. I would say that that's my biggest fear of, being very old and realizing that there was so much more that I could have done, but that I didn't. I think that would be my biggest regret.
So all these fears, if you continue to follow, will land you in regret.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with these fears, by the way?
I don't think that it's possible, or maybe it is, I don't know, but I just have a feeling that it's not possible to completely get rid of them. I studied psychology for a long time, so I know that there's a purpose for these fears, and it's our brain trying to protect us. But I would like to kind of use them and use that energy, because being scared is still a form of energy, and just turn it into action instead of inaction.
So from letting go to use them.
Yeah, I think it would be easier to use them instead of trying to let them go completely.
And recognizing that you can utilize or you can use those emotions. How does it feel now?
It feels empowering, to be honest, because I always kind of thought that, okay, I have these fears, I have these anxieties, I have all these negative feelings, and that's just it. I kind of just have to push them down or live with them. But now thinking that I can actually use them for something good, it feels quite nice.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
Tell me what's nice about it more. Tell me a little bit more.
Well, it doesn't feel so final, you know, and so scary because I'm also scared of my fears. And it does really feel empowering in a way that it doesn't have to be like that. And instead of using all of my energy to try to get rid of them or, break away from them or whatever, that instead they can actually be helpful and I don't have to listen to them. Because before I used to think that if I'm scared or anxious about something, then I shouldn't do it, that that's my body signaling that something is not right for me. But over the years, I've come to realize that that's not the case at all. And now I'm reminded of that because I did forget that for a while.
Mm. So with this reminder that you're getting in your head, what has shifted in your head?
I feel a little bit stronger,
Mhm.
and I'm also reminded that I'm definitely not the only one who's struggling with this, um, and that everyone who has ever become successful has probably had this struggle in the past, but they chose not to let their fears control their actions and control their life. And I don't have to either, because I'm not, um, less capable of other people. So if it's not that way for others, then it doesn't have to be that way for me either.
And then if it doesn't have to be that way for you, how do you think it should be for you?
Mm. You mean in a larger sense?
Yeah. So one is that you can use those emotions
Mm-hmm.
more informed. Or
Mm-hmm.
the other ways that you're recognizing for yourself.
Well, actually, looking back in my life, I've done a lot of very, very, very scary things, but I still did them. And that reminds me that I didn't let them stop me in the past, that I just kept going and did it anyway. So I feel like if I just work with myself and work with my mind, not against it, because that's what I'm doing at the moment, have been doing at the moment, is working against my mind. That if I actually work with it, then it's possible for me to be successful, whatever that means for me. But no, but yeah, successful in my business, successful in my relationships, in my family, in my health. So I do feel like it's possible for me, and it should be possible, because like I said, other people have done it before, and I'm not worse than them. So
So from struggle, so we started our conversation from struggle to feeling light. Where are we on that?
I feel like I'm moving closer to it.
How close are you now?
Ah, well, if I had to put it on a scale, I think from 1 to 10, in the beginning of the conversation, I was like at a 3, but now I'm closer to a 6 or a 7.
Mm. And what's between 6 and 7 to 10?
I think actually putting these things into practice,
Mm.
because I tend to get stuck in the first phase, right? The planning, the thinking, the like gathering information. But I think now it really takes courage to get to a 10, and perseverance. Yeah, so to actually put this into practice and to stick with it. Because I think it will be uncomfortable at first, since I've been stuck in this place for a while. Doing
Mm.
something new will feel uncomfortable.
Mm. And then how are you going to overcome those challenges of feeling uncomfortable?
I'll keep reminding myself why I'm doing it, because at the moment it's becoming more uncomfortable to stay where I am rather than to change. And I think that's an important moment, because I can go back to this moment and remind myself why I'm doing it and what I'm doing it for. So, yes.
So tell me, what's the learning for you now so far from this conversation?
That I really shouldn't be afraid of my fears, which sounds kind of funny, but it's, yeah, I shouldn't be afraid of these feelings, and I should understand that it's my brain's way of protecting me from the uncomfortable and from potential disappointment and failure. But the irony is, if I stay in the place where I am now, that's going to be inevitable. And I'm learning that I need to also remind myself that I have done difficult and scary things before, and everything was okay. The world didn't end. And to, yeah, I guess, have a little bit of courage, that I need more courage. Maybe that's what I needed all along, actually, is a little bit of, yeah, to be a little bit more brave.
So from struggle to lighter and fear to courage and brave.
Mm-hmm.
That's a move that you're recognizing that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how struggle or feeling light feels in the body. How would courage feel like?
The picture that comes to my mind is like if you are lost in a forest, and if you don't have courage, then you're just gonna stay in the same place and you're gonna stay stuck in that forest. But if you just, I guess, remind yourself that you need to keep going, and yes, there will be obstacles along the way, but you can't just solve obstacles ahead of time by overthinking about them. So to just keep going, and whatever comes up, I will deal with it as it comes. Because, I mean, I want to get out of this forest, right? And staying stuck isn't going to do that. And even if I'm scared while I'm doing it, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll be out of it eventually.
Hmm. So it sounds like forest for you is a negative metaphor.
I actually love forests, but I'm picturing a very like dark, scary forest at night with like all these scary sounds and, yeah, being alone, no fire, no light,
Hmm.
kind of in the dark.
Hmm. Do you want to repicture that with the forest that you love?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like a nice forest during the day with some deer and bunnies. Yeah.
And then that's fine to have obstacles there, right?
Hmm.
And then how are you showing up as courageous and brave in that forest?
Just understanding that I'm at point A, I need to get to point B. How do I do that? I just take it one literal step at a time. And the first few steps, of course, are scary and you don't know where you're going. You don't have a map, but eventually you'll get out if you just keep walking and if you don't stop. And it's okay to take breaks, but yeah, just don't stop. Keep going. You know, it's great to have a map. Hopefully, I have a map.
Mm,
But even if I don't, eventually I'll walk out of it as long as I don't keep walking in circles.
mm, mm. And the circles are the current situation, right? We started talking about circle when
Yeah.
we spoke about. And tell me, how can you translate that journey of the forest that you spoke about, the journey that you want to be in your life?
Mm. At the moment, another issue is I compare myself to people who are much further along in this journey than I am.
Mhm.
And because I see where I am and where they are and this like massive distance in between, it gives me a lot of anxiety, a lot of jealousy, and that also causes me to procrastinate. So I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, that's okay. You continue. I'm learning that you saying I'm comparing between people who are far ahead in the journey.
Yes, 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 which also keeps me stuck.
Mm.
And then it keeps me walking in circles, and I need to accept where I am at the moment, and that yes, where I want to get is pretty far away, pretty high up, but how do you climb Mount Everest? You take one step at a time. I mean, you take like a million of them, but it's
Mm.
one small step at a time. And
Mm.
yeah, just sitting down on a rock won't move you any closer.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm also noticing a comparison, which is limiting you, right? A comparison with people who are far ahead, and that's making you stuck and do all of that. So when that comparison is not helping you, why are you still keeping it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have been trying to reframe it though, because it's not just comparison, it's also jealousy. And I hate that feeling so much. I really hate that feeling, especially if it's towards people who are close to me and who have achieved success. Of course, I'm happy for them, but I also feel jealous. So I've been trying to reframe that feeling as a signal of that's what I want, you
Mm.
know, and just wanting something that they have. So I just need to understand that in order to get there, it's a long way ahead, but it's possible.
What are you now learning about yourself?
A lot, yeah. I have a lot of thoughts going here. Um, some of the things is that comparison is really the thief of joy and of progress, and you really cannot copy and paste somebody else's road, somebody else's journey, and apply it to myself, especially because I'm doing my own thing, and that takes a lot of trial and a lot of error. And that's okay because at the end of the day, I want to get to where I'm going, but I also need to learn to enjoy the process a little bit more. Like if
Mm.
I go back to the forest metaphor, it's not just about like just looking down and walk, walk, walk. It's also like you look around and kind of enjoy your surroundings, and maybe you have company along the way sometimes and enjoy other people's company. So it's also about, yeah, just trying to enjoy it the day by day a little bit. Maybe it's not enjoyable all day, every day, but at least I can find some times when I'm happy in the process and really like hang on to that because that's what's going to keep me going.
Mm. Mm. So you know what will keep you going.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's myself, but I'm also very lucky that I have very supporting partner and friends and family. So I'm definitely not alone. But at the end of the day, it's my own mindset that is gonna keep me going.
Mm. So what has shifted now in your mindset, speaking about everything that you've spoken?
I have this like image that when we started speaking, my mind was kind of like in a closed box, but now I feel like the box has just opened, and I feel like this, I don't know, like ceiling almost is gone from my
Mm.
mind, that I can think a little bit more clearly and a little bit more critically as well.
Mm. And what this feeling is informing you now to do.
That I shouldn't take my feelings and emotions at face value. Just because I feel something or think it doesn't mean that I have to believe it or act accordingly.
Mm.
I can also just, kind of mentally say, yeah, okay, I have this thought, but that's okay. It doesn't mean anything. And normally
Mm.
they just pass. So instead of dwelling on them,
Mm.
like I have been doing, and that's what hasn't been able to let me relax, is because I dwell things. So instead of dwelling them, I can really just kind of acknowledge my fears and my negative thoughts and be like, okay, you know, that's fine. Thanks for stopping by, but I have somewhere
Mm.
to be.
Mm. So you will acknowledge them and then use them, as you said.
Yeah, I use them. Sometimes I will just let them go if I think that they serve no purpose.
Mm.
Because I think I am capable of distinguishing between thoughts that do serve a purpose and those that don't. If they serve no purpose, I will first think like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Why am I thinking this? Like, okay, if it has no purpose, we let it go. If it does, okay, I can use this as energy instead.
And do what then?
To work on something that I've been putting off or
Mm.
something that's difficult. And if
Mm.
I do have anxiety around, or like a struggle around a certain task or around getting started, then that just means that it's difficult. And if it's difficult, that means it will make me progress, whether it's a difficult workout or, a difficult conversation that I need to have. It just means that there's like growth or some sort of progress on the other side of it.
What I'm appreciating is that the struggle was stopping you, and now you think the struggle will make you grow.
Yeah, if I keep reframing it that way, and if I don't forget this conversation, which I won't, I'll write about it after the call. But yeah, if I just keep reminding myself of that, then I think it will.
Mm. Hmm. And tell me what else you need to really learn about so that you keep reminding and keep referring back, and anything else that will support you on that.
I think actually the people around me will really support me because my closest friends and my mom and my partner, they really understand my thinking patterns because I talk about them a lot. So, if something comes up that I feel like I can't handle or I can't get past, or, it's getting too much, just a conversation with them, I think will remind me of what I'm capable of. And also, I think if I also keep reminding myself that I don't want to have this major regret of wasted potential down the line, then that will also motivate me, because that will really be the most, yeah, painful thing at the end of life if I realize that I didn't at least try to do everything that I wanted. And like, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. That's also an answer.
And how will you also make sure that you have that conversation with them if required?
If I'm struggling, before it gets too bad, like it was now, I will make sure to flag it, before it gets out of hand. And I'm quite good at being open with my feelings and my thoughts. So, yeah, I will just make sure to talk with them before things get out of hand, and they will remind me what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and
Mm. And tell me, how do you feel about this conversation so far?
yeah, I feel really good. Yeah, it's really like opened up a window in my brain, you know? Like I feel there's some like fresh air now in my head.
And are you sensing what you said, that I want to feel lighter and no tense in your muscles and all of that?
Yeah, yeah, I do feel that. I think when it comes to tension, it will take a couple days or weeks for it to completely go away because my body is so like used to being stuck. Um, but I think if I just keep going, with everything we talked about, then eventually physically I will feel even better. And I mean, mentally, I already feel a lot more, I don't know, what is the word? I guess like free from myself.
Mm. Free? Sorry, what was the word?
Free, yeah.
Free. Awesome. And anything else that you would like to talk about today?
Mm, I don't think so. I mean, I have a lot to think about. Really, there's a lot of thoughts going on in my mind, but good thoughts, it's not like scary or angry things going on, but like actually good thoughts. And I really feel like truly this conversation has been a breath of fresh air.
Mm. Congratulations on finding some fresh air for yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it really was very helpful. Really.
And how to make it useful for yourself.
How do I make it useful for myself?
You said it is helpful, right?
Yeah.
So how will you use this help?
Well, right after a call, I'm gonna journal about it a little bit just so that I can remind myself of this moment and what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling later on. And I don't know, do you have any advice on how I can make it more useful for myself?
If journaling helps you, I think go ahead, do it. So when you've journaled it, uh, how do you make sure that you follow what you journal?
I'll make a plan. No. I'll make a plan and I'll be sure to, I guess, just like check in with myself throughout the day or throughout the week. And if I catch myself putting things off or, letting like fear or whatever get in the way, I'll really make sure to think back to this conversation and the realizations that I've had and just ask myself, the decisions that I'm making, why am I making them? Is it because I'm scared and I want to avoid something, or because I need to be a little bit more brave and actually move towards something?
Mm, that's powerful, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. And are we in a good place now to complete our session today?
Yes. Yes, we are. Thank you very much.
Welcome.